Hey guys, so I'm really excited to make this video. Today I'll be teaching you how to make this totoro plush, and I actually made a video about this of my progress trying to make up this pattern. So I designed this as I was making it up as I go, and I use Bernat blanket yarn. So this is a really soft thick yarn. It is a jumbo size and I use all 300 grams. And then for the hook, we are using a big 15mm crochet hook. And for our other materials, we are going to be needing some glue, some scissors, and a crochet stitch marker. And of course some felt. So this is important. I use felt for the belly area and the eyes and the nose. So I use a large amount of the white since it is the biggest part of totoro, and black for the eyes. So for the felt swatches, I actually got that from my dollar store, and you will be needing a big amount of stuffing or filling for this plush. So to start this plush, I am going to be making a magic ring or magic circle, and you can do it however or how you do your magic circle. This is just the way I do it. And in our circle we will be placing 6 single crochets. So once you have 6 single crochets, just tie in your circle and make sure it's tight, just like this. So for round 2, we are placing an increase in each stitch around the row. So this is my first stitch. I am placing 2 single crochets. And make sure you always mark your first stitch so you don't get lost, especially with working with this kind of yarn. It's very hard to determine which stitches are which. So just continue with placing an increase in each stitch, and by the end of this row you should have 12 stitches. So you should have 12 stitches all around, and to start round 3 we are placing 1 single crochet in the next stitch and increasing in the next stitch. So this is my first stitch here, so I'm placing 1 single crochet, and I'm going to place my marker back into that first stitch. On the following stitch you are going to be increasing. So this is the second stitch, and I am placing, actually made a mistake here, so we are doing single crochets, not double crochets. So I am placing 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. So again, in the next stitch we are just repeating the same thing, 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we are going to be increasing, so 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So just repeat this until you get to the end of the round. So you should have 18 stitches all around, and for our fourth round we are going to place 2 single crochets and an increase. So my first stitch is this one. I'm placing 1 single crochet and just placing my stitch marker back. In the following stitch, you are going to put 1 single crochet just right here, so it's 2 single crochets and an increase in the following stitch. And you're just repeating this pattern, so 2 single crochets and increase, so 1 single crochet on the next stitch, that's 2, and then increase in the next stitch. So you will just be repeating this 2 single crochet increase until the end of the round. So you should have 24 stitches all around, and for our fifth round we are increasing again, so 3 single crochets and then an increase. So I'm placing a single crochet on the very next stitch here, so 1 single crochet, and on the following stitch another single crochet, on the next stitch 1 single crochet, and then we increase in the following stitch. And we're just repeating the exact same thing, so 3 single crochets, so 1, this is 2, my third one, and then we will increase in the next stitch. So just repeat this pattern until you get to the end of the round. So you should have 30 stitches all around, so make sure you count your stitches because it's really hard to determine with this kind of yarn. And for our next row, which is our 6th row, we are placing 4 single crochets and an increase. So this is my first single crochet, and this is our last round of increasing, so after this we won't be increasing anymore. So first one, second single crochet in the next stitch, then single crochet in the next stitch, which makes it 3 single crochets, and then our 4th single crochet, and then in the next stitch we are going to be increasing. So just repeat the same thing, so 4 single crochets all around and then increase, so 2, this is my third one, 4 single crochet and increase. So you should have 36 stitches all around. For row 7, we are placing 1 single crochet in each stitch all around, just normal single crochets. We aren't increasing anymore, so just place 1 single crochet in each stitch. And we are actually going to be building this up, so in total we are building 6 rows of just this single crochet rounds. So this is our first round, so that means you will be crocheting 5 more rounds of just single crochets. And I will meet you back when I am done with all of my 6 rows. Hey guys, so I'm back and I did 6 rows, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, and make sure you have 36 stitches. And for our 13th row, because we went from row 7 to row 12, which is 6 rows, for round 13 we are placing 4 single crochets and we are decreasing. So we're gonna make our plush smaller at the top so we'll be able to close it. So this is my first single crochet, my second one, my third single crochet, then my fourth, and then we are decreasing. So in the following 2 stitches we're decreasing, so insert your hook, grab the yarn and go into the next stitch and grab the yarn again. You should have 3 loops and just pull through all of them, so just like this. So we'll be repeating this pattern, so 4 single crochets and then decrease. And again, to decrease, insert your hook into the next stitch, grab the yarn, insert your hook into the next stitch, grab the yarn, and you should have 3 loops. So 1, then 2, then pull through all 3. And just repeat this until the end of the round. So you should have 30 stitches all around. So for row 14, we are decreasing once more, and this time we are doing 3 single crochets and decreasing. So place your first stitch or single crochet in the following stitch, then single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch again, and then we are going to be decreasing. So insert your hook to the next stitch, grab the yarn, insert your hook into the next stitch and grab the yarn and pull through all 3 loops, and just repeat the same pattern once more. So 3 single crochets, and then we are decreasing in the following 2 stitches, and just repeat this pattern until you get to the end of the round. So you should have ended up with 24 stitches all around. So for row 15 we are placing 2 single crochets and decreasing. So place your first single crochet, and place another single crochet in the next stitch. then decrease in the following 2 stitches, and just repeat this whole pattern once more until you get to the end of the round. So 2 single crochets, and then decrease in the next following 2 stitches, and by the end of the round you should have 18 stitches all around. So by this time you should notice that your work is closing in, so this is the time to stuff your plush. So for this round, which is row 16, so you can see the plush is starting to get bigger and more like totoro. So place your first single crochet in the next stitch, and then decrease in the next 2 stitches right here. And we are just repeating the same pattern, so 1 single crochet decrease until you get to the end of the round. So for row 17, which is our last round, we are going to be decreasing in all of the stitches. So you should have 12 stitches by now, and by the end of this round you're left with 6 single crochets. So just decrease in the first 2 stitches, and just repeat this pattern until you get to the end of the round. So as you can see, we are finished crocheting the body, but there's still a hole at the top here. So cut the yarn but leave a tail to sew and close that opening. So I'm going to be chaining 1 and just tug on the yarn to make it more secure, and I'm going to show you how I closed the top. So what you're gonna do, gonna turn it, and then the outer layer of the next stitch like this. So put your hook through and just grab the yarn and pull it through. And we're repeating this with every single stitch. So on the next stitch, pick out the outer part of the stitch and just grab the yarn and pull through. And do this until you get to the end, and we are going to be pulling it so it closes shut. So once you're done, just simply pull the tail of the yarn and it will just close just like this. And then I'm just going to be tying a knot to make sure this hole doesn't open. And after you make your knot, you're just gonna hide the yarn by grabbing it by your hook and just pulling it into the body. So once you're done hiding the yarn, you're done Totoro's body. So you will see that you have this super big, soft, squishy gray pillow, which will become Totoro. So for the hands and the ears is the same pattern. So I will just be explaining this once because you're just going to be making 4 of these in total. So make a magic ring. And then we are placing 5 single crochets in the ring. And after you've closed the circle, we are doing 2 rows of normal single crochet, and after that you're just going to be cutting the yarn and leaving a long tail to sew on to the body. So I'm picking out my first stitch here. Make sure you count 5 stitches. So on my first stitch here, I'm placing 1 single crochet. So this will become the first row of the 2 rows of single crochet. So just place 1 single crochet in each stitch until you get to the end of the round. And after this, I will be making 1 more row, and that's it. I'm going to be cutting the yarn. So after you're done, you're just going to be leaving a long tail for sewing and cut the yarn, and you're just gonna pull this through. I'm going to be slip stitching in the next stitch. So insert your hook, pull through, and just pull through again. And I'm going to be repeating this 3 more times. And that's basically it. After that, there's no more crocheting, and it's just the assembly and cutting part. So I'm going to start by cutting the belly of totoro. So I folded the felt swatch so it's just more easier and more symmetrical. So I cut it out and I tested it out to the body, and make sure you do that too to adjust it to your liking, however big you want this part to be. And that's what I did. So I'm doing 2 layers because the first layer of felt is just too thin, and I decided to just double it to make it look more nicer, and just testing it out on the totoro body to make sure if it's to my liking and it's nice and a perfect circle. So I did the same thing to the eyes. So I just grabbed it and started cutting it. And same thing for the nose. I used the black felt swatch and just started shaping out Totoro's nose. And this gave me such a hard time getting the shape of the nose perfect, and I had to redo it, and I had to cut out a fresh swatch again to redo it. So I had also cut out the black part of the eyes and glued that onto the white part. So this is my cutouts, and I will be gluing them onto the body. So I'm going to show you how I attach the ears, and this is the same way I did for the arms on the sides. So just place it on which side you would like to attach it first. So I just started grabbing the yarn and going under the stitches, and then going back into the ear just like this, and it's just that same process. So going under the stitches again like this, and then pulling it to the ear, and I just did that for both the ears and the hands. So this is my Totoro plush all in one piece. As you can see, everything is attached, and the only thing left to do is glue the eyes and the nose and the belly part. So I'm just going to be gluing that, and you're pretty much all done. And one more thing, you're gonna be cutting out little pieces of yarn and just gluing that on top of the belly like this. And you can do as much as you want. I just did 3. And yeah, after you're done, you're just gonna let it dry out, and your Totoro is all done. So if you guys like this tutorial, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials like this one. I hope you guys enjoyed making this big Totoro plush with me, and if you did make this, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your Totoro plush. And yeah, till next time, bye!